Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Contemplation brought to you by Spotlight Recovery. It is May 1st. I'm your host, Lucas. Just a quick update for those of you who have been watching the series routinely. We're going to work towards making this an official podcast now, which is going to be really cool. It's been requested by a couple of folks who have been enjoying the content and figured why not make it available on every podcasting platform, and so you can get it wherever you need and whatever works best for you. So keep an eye out. Make sure you're subscribed to us, and we're going to work on just filling in the rest of the missing days from earlier in the year. So we've got from January to May all totally full, every day covered, and then get uploading those to all of the podcasting platforms. So you're going to have those as well. So if it's too hard to make the time in the morning to sit and watch the video, then you can listen to it on your commute to work or school or whatever. So yeah, we're just hoping it's going to be another great way to make more content more accessible to you to help you further in your recovery, which is the whole point of this stuff. So either way, very exciting. It's going to take a little bit to roll it out, but just wanted to give you the heads up now because that's some great news. So there we go. So there's a little tidbit for you. And then as far as today's reflection goes, let's bring this one up and get into it. It's got some good points in it. It actually covers a lot. So we're going to see what we do here. So, healing heart and mind, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. From the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 55, and that's from AA. Since it is true that God comes to me through people, I can see that by keeping people at a distance, I also keep God at a distance. God is nearer to me than I think, and I can experience Him by loving people and allowing people to love me. But I can neither love nor be loved if I allow my secrets to get in the way. It's the side of myself that I refuse to look at that rules me. I must be willing to look at the dark side in order to heal my mind and heart, because that is the road to freedom. I must walk into the darkness to find the light and walk into fear to find peace. By revealing my secrets and thereby ridding myself of guilt, I can actually change my thinking. By altering my thinking, I can change myself. My thoughts create my future. What I will be tomorrow is determined by what I think today. And this inspiration is from AA Daily Reflections. Oh man. Yeah, so this one is loaded. I'm going to try to not make this another one of those half-hour jobs. Yeah, the longer ones are going to be for our other podcast, which we're also working on. So, like I said, this is all from and right out of AA literature. It's obviously pretty God-heavy. Please don't let that get in the way. And this opening line, what there is step 5. In a 12-step program, that line exactly is step 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. A big part of that in this step and what they're talking about in this reflection, essentially, is just ridding yourself of your past. Ridding yourself of those other ball and chains that you drag around with you, the weight of the past and guilt and shame and embarrassment, just all of these things, and being able to rid and free yourself of them. A, so you don't use over them. You're not still hanging on to them. They're not this burden that you're carrying around. And B, so you've removed this obstruction so you then can be of more service to others. And so you're able to help people. So those are, like, just in a quick nutshell, the common frameworks and focuses on step 5 and what they're talking about here. And I really enjoy it because doing step 5, this was one of the most freeing things I've ever experienced in my life. Now, really, it's, these subsequent steps together, and you're doing the inventory in the 4th step all the way through till step 9, when you're then making restitution and amends for all of these things that you're admitting now in step 5, owning up to all of them and then trying to make them right. So it's obviously a ton of work and hard and takes everything you've got. And I've also never experienced something that has given me more freedom. Nothing has given me as much freedom as like this step and the concept of it and all of this work. I I know somebody in recovery, and they were having challenges with the steps, and they had said to me, they're like, how can you keep going in recovery? Life's going to happen. You're going to have all of these, like, life's going to keep happening too. So you're going to get more trauma and pain and damage and hardship and all of that. How can you keep going and not drinking when you already have all of this accumulated past that's already weighing you down? And that's what I'd said to them, was just like, doing this step work is what rids you of all of that past. It's what rids you of all of the weight and all of these past experiences that you used to drink over, hang on to, ruminate about. That's the word I was looking for. It's this great process on how to remove all of these things out of your life. And also, sidebar too, I really think everybody could benefit. Well, everybody, asterisk. But in general, I think everybody could benefit from doing the 12 steps. Addict or not, a main portion of it being this, on learning how to let go of and rid your past and try to clean it up to the best that you can, cleaning up any damage, and then just being able to move on from it and leaving it in the past. So anyway, so that's what I'd said to them. Is that doing this work is the best path that I've seen to find this freedom, letting go of the past, to then keep moving forward and living life, because life's gonna life, things are gonna happen. But it's important to not be hanging on to them, especially as much as we used to. In addicts, that is like one of our superpowers. So there's that. And then quick little sidebar with that too, the steps are also great. They have these steps built in place. So after you have done this massive regurgitation and letting go of all of your past and covering all these things, they have then additional steps afterwards on what you can do to prevent more of this from happening again, to help prevent future resentment and hanging on to things, so you don't fall back into this position that you did before. If you did, it's totally okay, but it's just part of this process to try to foolproof and just keep living without carrying the past around with you. So anyway, there's all of that stuff. And each different portions here I think are really neat. They kind of have their own little subtopic. That's why I said this reflection is really full of stuff. So this first main paragraph, talking about our relationship with others, with God, or the concept of a higher power, and then of tapping into that power through other people, on how God, I'm just going to use that as the placeholder word. So again, please don't let it make you shut this off and say this guy's a religious lunatic. No. But just on how God speaks to us through others, and works through people for their words and their actions and things like that. So I really like that messaging, and I like what they talk about here in this paragraph. So this person's already at acceptance, or this decision of the fact that God comes to them through people. Therefore, I can see that by keeping people at a distance, I also keep God at a distance. So if you're really looking to grow spiritually, it's funny, it's interesting. This messaging is saying that isolating yourself is the wrong way to go. And I just think that's really neat, and it's just a neat perspective, because it's opposite of the Buddha and original Buddhism, where he's no, I gotta go off. I can't remember if it's the mountains or the forest or something, but takes off and is no, I need to totally isolate to find enlightenment and focus on spirituality. And this is saying the opposite. So, can't say which is right or wrong. You can decide for yourself. But I really like this approach. This works a lot better for me. By being more connected to people is how I can get more connected to my higher power. And then also myself, in a way, just from getting that feedback from other people and learning more about myself, because I need people to call me on my shit and give me perspectives on how I'm handling things and going about things. I can't figure it all out by myself. If I could, I wouldn't need a recovery program. None of that's true. So I need the program. I need God. I need other people. I need you. So just building those relationships and staying connected with all of these parts as much as possible helps them work harmoniously, helps them work together. I get more out of that. I'm more connected. I'm more rooted in all of this, which is great. Because isolation is such a common thing for addicts. We isolate so much. And I love that. I think it was Johan Hari, that TED Talk where he says the opposite of addiction is connection. That's become like a really popular recovery tagline that people just throw out there all the time. But in a lot of ways, it's really true. And it's got some really good weight to it. So I like that they mentioned that in this paragraph. And then they connected back with the inventory piece. But I can neither love nor be loved if I allow my secrets to get in the way. It's the side of myself that I refuse to look at that rules me. I must be willing to look at the dark side and then, look at the dark, find the light, go through the fear and find the faith. And it gets a little hippy-dippy for me. At least that's just the mood I'm in right now. Not knocking it. That's just the wording they use. And it's all true. And I think it's absolutely true. And that's just another piece in general with this step and this messaging that they're talking about that I really like, because I hadn't learned this lesson fully until I came into recovery. Just part of that disease is doing whatever it takes to get in order to get my fix. And a lot of times that involves manipulation, lying, secrecy, especially as things progress and get worse. These are all your very common behavior traits that come with addiction because that they best support the disease. And then when you get completely taken over by this mentality and this disease, all these behaviors become second nature, and then you lose touch with yourself, you lose touch with others, you just feel totally lost and alone and isolated. So hopefully you can see how all of these points are actually really tying together, even though they have their own little subtopics in each paragraph. So I really like, hippie language aside for today, I really like how this is written because all of these points are really good. So that was a main lesson that I really needed to learn coming into recovery, and I didn't understand the weight and the importance of it. Or it talks about just like my secrets are what keep me sick. There's a line, something like that. You're only as sick as your secrets. There you go. That's what it is. And that absolutely became very true for me. And I didn't realize it just because of all the weight that they carry, and then keeping up the story, and then lying to the ones you love or want to love you is just such a painful thing. So this whole process just teaches you how to remove all of this out of your life. Just imagine if you're stuck in any of that now, imagine how freeing it would be if you no longer felt this way, if you no longer had these things as a part of your life. I'm just feeling it again because I can't explain how freeing that is and how good that fucking feels. Oh my gosh. So, it is possible. It is doable. Me and countless others have done it. I can't suggest it enough. I don't care how scary it is, how hard it is, what you did. None of us do. We've all been there at some point. Somebody else has done something worse. It's not that big a deal. Respectfully, you're not that special. Okay? We don't come into recovery being great, well-behaved people. So that's okay. Doing this work to find this freedom, can't emphasize it enough. Can't emphasize it enough. And so then we have the last italicized paragraph here by revealing that, this is where it gets like large scale. It's like, this is how deep the rabbit hole goes. Okay? By revealing my secrets and thereby ridding myself of guilt, I can actually change my thinking. By altering my thinking, I can change myself. My thoughts create my future. What I will be tomorrow is determined by what I think today. Oh my God. Oh, that is straight fire. Like, that is so cool. That is so good. Oh my gosh. That gets me right fired up. I don't know about you. But just like we're talking about the power in this work and the potential it has to like really change your life. It's, oh my God. And like, if it wasn't true, I wouldn't be so fired up about it. This passion and these feelings are clearly coming from the experience of having done this stuff, and we were talking just the other day, about changing our thinking and our thinking connecting to our behaviors. There's definitely been some CBT coming up recently in these reflections, and that's exactly what they're talking about here, which is just so true, and it's so powerful. And now being in recovery, being of sound mind and body, is when you're able to start making these decisions and taking these actions. And so this power is now back in your hands. You now have the potential to do all of this stuff. It's so cool. And I love, what are they talking here? Yeah, my thoughts create my future. And they're just talking about how your thinking is what completely creates your world and your existence. Oh man, I think that is so cool, and I absolutely believe it. Another great TED Talk that I love, I can't remember the poor guy's name, but it was in Toronto, which was really cool. And he said, there's no world, there's just 6 billion interpretations of it. Now there's 8 billion, because man, are we like rabbits. But anyway, just that thought of, there's no world, there's just 6 billion interpretations of it. So everybody's interpretation, they're thinking how they see the world, that's their world, that's the version of it. You can't say that's wrong or that doesn't exist. We all have one. And so for us, for this being news as addicts, is just, this is some of the best news you can ever hear, because we could not remotely, like we couldn't, a lot of us get to that point where we couldn't put together the life that we wanted. And as our addiction got worse, the life we wanted and imagined and tried to put together just kept falling farther away and this farther from our grasp. And so knowing that there's a way back into this, that this is a new potential and possibility for you that's waiting for you as a part of recovery. I mean, damn, if that ain't the best news you're going to hear all day, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. Oh my Lord. So having said that, if you do hear better news than that, please throw it in the comments. Would love to hear what you hear that tops that, because that's just more great news. Why would we not want to share more positivity? So anyway, there we go. Not half hour, but still pretty good chunk in there. So there's today's daily reflection. Please throw down in those comments what stands out for you. Would love to hear just that input. And yeah, just what resonates for you, because I think this is a really powerful reflection, and I really enjoyed it. I got to find some new way to close this out now that is applicable for all podcasting platforms, so I'm going to work on that. But, whatever platform you are on, there's got to be some way to subscribe or follow or like or rate. All of these things really will help us a lot if you're enjoying it, so then more people can hear this message. And please share it too. That's the point, is just to be able to help folks in recovery and carry this message, give them some more info. Okay? In the episode description, there's going to be other free resources for you, ways that Spotlight Recovery can support you. So check that out. We've got other recovery coaching videos. Another podcast is in the works. It's going to be more longer format, but not too much at once here. We're getting there. A newsletter. All these things are connected on our website. And I do private recovery coaching with people. So if you're liking what I'm saying, but don't quite understand how you can incorporate this into your life, please reach out to me. Contact info's in the description, and I'd be happy to chat and see if there's a way that I can help support you and coach you through this process, because it is so freeing and liberating, and I would love to be able to show you how to do it. It's really, really cool. So anyway, that's all down there. And then last are just ways you can support us too, by donating, becoming a member, getting some branded merch. We'd all really appreciate it. We got a bunch of cool clothes on there. So check it all out. And for now, just thank you for checking out today's episode of Coffee and Contemplation. I hope you enjoyed it. Wishing you a blessed 24 in your recovery, ridding yourself of that past so you can be more free and present, connect with others, and be of service. Okay? And we'll see you again tomorrow.